My grandma used to tell me scary stories when I was little, but there's one I'll never forget. A story so chilling it changed the way I shower forever. If you think scary stories are just make-believe, think again, because what happened to my grandma still keeps me up at night. Stick around until the end, and if you're brave enough, hit that subscribe button for more true horror stories that'll make you think twice before turning off the lights. And whatever you do, don't close your eyes in the shower. I was 10 years old when Grandma came to live with us. It was about 6 months after Granddad passed away, and looking back, I think she must have been unbearably lonely in that big old house, rattling around with nothing but grief and silence. So despite a few quiet protests from Mom, my parents invited her to move in. I didn't mind at all. In fact, I was thrilled. Grandma was loud, full of energy, and generous with her endless supply of boiled sweets. She always slipped me a few when no one was looking and was the first to defend me when I got into trouble. But most of all, it was her stories I loved best. She had all kinds of stories, tales of growing up during World War II, adventures from when her family was evacuated to the South Coast. Some were funny, some were sad, some were magical. But the scary ones? Those were my favorite. She told me she used to dabble in the occult when she was a teenager. Ouija boards, tarot cards, fortune-telling. Most of her creepy stories made me laugh. Some I forgot almost immediately. But there was one I didn't forget. One that stayed with me. One that still haunts me to this day. The story about the shower and Mr. Long Fingers. It started one night when I asked her why she always took baths and never showers. Grandma loved her long, candle-lit baths. She'd hum quietly to herself and stay in the tub until the water went cold. It used to drive Mum mad. When I asked her why, she got very still. You know, people like me, the sensitive ones, we have to take baths, she said, shuffling closer to me on the bed. I couldn't possibly stay in the shower that long. It's far too risky. Why is it risky, Grandma? She paused, turning to look out the window. Then, she slowly faced me again. Well, she whispered, it's only risky if you close your eyes, especially for more than 10 seconds. I frowned. Why? What happens then? You ever play that game with your friends where someone turns their back and everyone sneaks up on them when they're not looking? I nodded. That's what it's like in the shower when your eyes are closed. That's when he gets closer. Who? Mr. Long Fingers. A cold shiver slid down my back. No one knows exactly what he is, Grandma continued. Some say he's a creature drawn to the heat and scent of the water. Others say he's a demon, slipping through the cracks between our world and theirs in the steam. She lowered her voice to a whisper. But one thing's for sure. Those who've seen him don't live to tell the tale. I clutched the blanket tighter. Don't worry, sweetheart, Grandma said softly. Just remember the rules and you'll be fine. What rules? When you're in the shower, don't close your eyes for too long. 5 seconds is okay. 10 is pushing it. But if you ever go past 15, what happens? That's when you might hear it. The soft tap, tap, tap of fingers on glass. If you ever hear that noise, God forbid, promise me something. What? Promise me you won't open your eyes. That night, I barely slept. Every time I shut my eyes, I imagined a pale face pressed to my window, staring in. And when I finally did fall asleep, the nightmares came. Disembodied eyes watching me in the dark, long fingers brushing against my skin. The shower became the worst part of my day. I'd rush through it, eyes squeezed shut only for a few seconds at a time. Grandma's words echoing in my head. 5 seconds is fine. 10 is just about okay. But any longer than that, I'd panic, scrubbing my hair as fast as I could, counting the seconds like they were heartbeats. The pressure in the air would change. It wasn't just fear. It felt like something was there. Something waiting. Sometimes I'd open my eyes too soon and get shampoo in them, but I always peeked out through the steamed glass, just to make sure I was still alone. Eventually, Mum noticed something was wrong. She heard me crying in my sleep and sat with me until I calmed down. I told her everything, about Grandma's story, about Mr. Long Fingers. Her face hardened, not at me, but at Grandma. Later that night, I heard Mom arguing with Dad through the wall. She told him there's a monster that'll get him in the shower, Simon. He's been having nightmares all week. You need to say something to her, or I will. The next night, Grandma came to visit me in my room, but there were no stories this time. She just sat at the edge of my bed, staring down at me, her blue eyes sad in the moonlight. "You know I'd never let anything bad happen to you, right?" she asked softly. "I know, Grandma." "You know I wouldn't let you come to any harm?" I nodded again. She looked away. "The things I tell you at night, they're meant to protect you, to toughen you up a little, but maybe I went too far." Then she smiled, but I could tell it didn't reach her eyes. "I'll tell you what," she said. "You remember what I told you about Mr. Long Fingers? About the shower? Well, I'll scare the bastard off. I'll make sure you're safe. He won't come back if he has to face me." I stared at her and nodded once. I was the one who found her. I don't know exactly when it happened, but it was about a week later. I woke early, heart pounding from a bad dream, and I heard something. The sound of rushing water. The shower. I jumped from bed and ran down the hallway. The bathroom door was closed, steam curling from the gap at the bottom. I started banging, shouting her name. "Grandma!" No answer. I reached for the handle. It wasn't locked. The door swung open, releasing a wall of steam that hit my face. I squinted through the fog, and that's when I saw her. She was lying naked on the shower floor, water pouring over her. Her eyes were open, wide and bulging. One hand was curled to her chest like a broken bird. The other lay against the glass, her fingers having carved streaks through the condensation, still fresh. Dad shoved me aside and everything became chaos. Screaming, crying, sirens. They said it was a heart attack. She died quickly, they told me, peacefully, no pain. But I knew better. Even at 10 years old, I knew, and years later, writing this now, I still know. My wife and kids resent that I won't let anyone use the shower in our house. I make everyone take baths. They humor me, but I can see it in their eyes. They don't understand. My wife thinks it's because I'm still traumatized by finding Grandma's body. She's not wrong, but she doesn't know the full truth. Nobody does, because after the paramedics took her away and everyone else had gone downstairs, I went back into the bathroom. I looked at the markings Grandma's fingers had drawn in the steam. They weren't random. They spelled something, just one word, run, to be continued. If you made it this far, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because in part 2, I'm going to tell you what happened the night I finally broke the rule and closed my eyes for too long. Would you dare stay in the shower after this? Let us know in the comments.